Now, working that sort of 911 dispatch area desk, at some point, just before 5 a.m., what, if any, calls did you receive around that time?
I received a phone call from a woman generally asking if we had locked up or transported a male potty that evening. It's not uncommon that people call and say, hey, did you lock up so-and-so, or did you stop anybody? She said some version of he was out with friends, he didn't come home tonight, and his girlfriend's worried about him.
At the time that you received that call, did you know who that person was on the other end?
No.
And fair to say at some point later you had responded to Fairview Road, is that correct?
Yes.
And the person who had called just before 5 a.m., did you have occasion to speak with them when you were on scene on Fairview?
I did.
Who did you identify that first call to come in from?
First call was Miss Roberts.
That would be Carrie Roberts, is that
Yes.
correct? Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
So I'm showing you this. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What do you recognize that to be?
That would be the 911 call from our station.
And that would be specifically from Ms. Roberts, is that correct?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, will seek to introduce in the minutes of the exhibit.
No objection.
Okay. This will be exhibit 35.
Your Honor, with court's permission, I would ask to publish that call to the jury at this point.
Okay. Hold on 1 second, please. What number? Okay. Okay. All right, thank you. I thought that's what you said. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, please.
Okay, please, good.
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm calling because my friend's boyfriend did not come home last night. We were at waterfall. And now she is calling me hysterical because she doesn't know where he is. You didn't pick anybody up by the name of John O'Keefe, did you?
John O'Keefe.
Yeah, he's about to call and will be on foot, but
No.
I think he probably another guy and tapped at someone's house. I don't know, but
Yeah, no, we didn't want anybody else or anything like that. And where does he live?
he lives on Meadow. There in Pueblo.
He lives on Meadow, off Pleasant. Okay, and where is the wife home? You said his girlfriend?
With his girlfriend, yeah, they were out having drinks, and then she left, and expected him to come home at some point, and he never did.
Yeah.
And so I said to her, you know, my husband had been out with her earlier in the night, but then he came home, and he had custody with me to nephew because his parents passed away.
Okay.
And so she's home with the niece and nephew, and they're old enough to be home. It's just she's nervous because he never even called.
Yeah.
So she's like, I feel like something happened, and I said, okay. Well, so call the area hospital, and you'll be happening. I personally think he someone probably picked him up in the back. I don't know.
Yeah, did he didn't drive last night?
No.
No. Okay. I think, again, it's more, it would be driven by you. She would have to, call in a government station, and talk to us, but as of right now, it's more, he didn't get home last night, is this common sometimes, or how with him?
No, that's why.
Yeah.
He didn't call with me. That's kind of why she's more freaking out. So I figured, I called the area hospital, I said, call Kansas police just to make sure he didn't get picked up. I didn't some police officers, anyone, Dutch people, if anybody could pick him up.
Yeah.
Just get it off.
Okay.
Apparently, they're not important at the time, so.
Yeah, no.
No.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there, I was stuck here. But we haven't didn't get any calls, anything like that. Nobody was arrested or anything like that. Alrighty.
All right, well, thank you.
Alright, no problem. Good luck.
Okay,
See ya.
thank you, bye-bye.
Now, Now, Sergeant Good, what was played in there, is that a fair and accurate portrayal of the 911 call that you had with Kelly Roberts around
Yes.
5 a.m.? Now, turning your attention to about an hour forward, approximately 6 a.m. on the 29th, what, if any, other phone calls did you receive, bless you, in regard to the same sort of parties?
At 6:04 a.m. on the 911 dispatch console, I received a call from a woman at 34 Fairview.
Now, in those intervening sort of hours or so, as you were stating on the 911 call, no one sort of physically came into the Canton Police Station and reported anything in regard to this, correct?
No,
And again, the party that you spoke to on the phone at approximately 6:04 a.m., did you know that person at that time?
no,
And again, you responded later on or shortly thereafter to Fairview and spoke with a number of different people, correct?
correct.
From those conversations on scene, you now know who placed that 911 call at approximately 6:04 a.m.
Yes,
And who is that person?
that'd be Miss McCabe.
And that would be Jennifer McCabe, is that correct?
Yes,
Now, with regard to, you talked about the weather when you first arrived to your shift. Around 6 a.m., what, if anything, had changed between the weather when you arrived and around 6 a.m.?
it was snowing heavily.
Now, Your Honor, may I approach again?
Yes.
So, I don't even know this. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
And what do you recognize that to be?
that'd be the 911 call from Mrs. McCabe.
I'll ask you to introduce and admit as the next exhibit.
No objection.
Okay.
And Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would ask to publish Exhibit 36 to the jury now as well.
Okay.
No, please, for lot, whatever, to.
Yes, I need someone from the 34th Unity Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow.
You can't pull up, because you can't please go. You connected to no, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
It's the house, the red line.
I think he's like 50 times I've never been so cheap.
Red set line, because we can.
Okay. I don't. Where's the market? I don't think blanket Harry.
911, what's your emergency?
I need someone to come immediately to 34th Unity Road, Canton, Mass.
What's going on?
There's a guy on the shotgun in the snow.
In the snow, 34?
Yes, 34, the Albert resident, yes, I just pulled up and found it.
Okay, 34,
34 you can now, yes.
911, that's not your political, where's your emergency? Hello?
Yes, I'm sorry, can you come to 34, you Road in Canton?
34 Fairview?
Yes, there's a man unresponsive in the snow.
Okay,
He's gonna get here,
okay, what's going on, is he face down?
We just spoke to Mulder.
Okay. And who's that in the background, is that someone related?
That's his girlfriend, he has John Pete.
Okay, how old is he?
John is 46 years old.
46, how long has he been on site?
I don't know, I don't know, he got out of the car and it could have been a couple of hours. If he carries, I don't know if he's breathing. There are two women trying to, it could be heat and it's hysterical.
Okay, can you just try asking, I know it's tough, but we have the fire department going, they just get it.
Is he breathing, you guys? It doesn't seem to be breathing.
Okay, do they know how to do CPR, do they want to test it?
Yes, he's got to be CPR. No, I guess he's gone.
Oh, okay, they don't feel comfortable doing so?
No, I think he's passed away.
Okay. All right, we have the fire department and the police department on the way. If everyone's declining CPR, then I'll hang up with you, and if anything changes, you can give us a call back. Where are you guys upset? I'm there, sweetheart. I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know. So, Kelly, you gotta get off somebody. Kelly, you gotta get off your head. Do you know if there's any alcohol or drugs involved? He I'm talking hours about me, and I just, okay, is there any bleeding or anything? Maybe his head up? Yeah, possibly, okay, bleeding from the face. How big the pool was, like, there was any?
If I could ask you just to back that up about
Okay.
10 or 15 seconds or so, once the siren outside calms down.
We're fine.
Okay, bleeding from the face, alright. Yeah. And how big the pool was, if there is any? Something coming out of the building, one of the women is doing CPR. Okay, one of them is doing CPR? Yes, that's working on her. Alright, if she wants CPR, and just let me, you give us a call back, we becomes responsible, right, but we're on the way. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilman. And so, upon receiving that 911 call just after approximately 6:04 a.m., what, if anything, did you do with regard to dispatching?
So once it was connected to Holbrook, you could hear me. I ended up dispatching my own officers, my downtown cruisers to 34 Fairview, and then I had one other cruiser come back to the station so I could get down there.
And, so you yourself respond down there, is that correct?
Yes.
And about how much time elapsed from the time that you sort of transferred to Holbrook from the medical situation to the time that you travel down to Fairview Road?
I would guess it had to be less than 5 minutes.
And in addition to the patrol cars and yourself, who, if anyone else, did you notify in relation to that call when you received it?
So I phoned Lieutenant Gallagher and Detective Sergeant Lang.
Why then?
Just policy, the seriousness of the call. Lieutenant Gallagher was the off-going lieutenant the night prior, the shift prior, so that's what you usually do. And Detective Sergeant Lang is in charge of the detectives.
Now, when you left Camden Police Station to respond to Fairview, who, if anyone, assumed your role as far as manning the dispatch area in the 911?
That'd be Officer Dever.
And, may I approach?
Yes.
Dever. D-E-V-E-R. Sorry.
And for medical reporter, if you haven't already, I'm sorry, could you just spell Officer Dever's last name if you know?
Yes, it's going to be D-E-V-E-R. You're welcome.
I'll show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 14.
Sorry. Okay.
Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
That would be our roll call log, press log.
And as far as that particular log is concerned, is there any indication on there who sort of created that log?
Yes, that'd be Officer Dever.
And these are logs that you typically create when you're working that particular position as far as the dispatch desk, correct?
Yes, it's pretty much a running journal for our department.
And sort of how is that information gleaned and how is that sort of transmitted into that log?
It's as accurate as the officer that actually enters the information. So if it was busy in there and she's by herself, you're taking information down, you're writing it, then you have to physically enter it into a computer. So there would be a delay in time.
Thank you, sir. May I approach just to retrieve your arm?
Sure.
Yes.
Now, Sergeant Good, with respect to your response Kent Police Station 234 Fairview Road. What was sort of the path of travel that you took?
So I pulled out of the police station at 1492 Washington Street, taking a right onto Washington, heading south.
And then where did you go from there?
And then I took a right onto Chapman Street. And then it would be your third right on Fairview.
And coming down Fairview, what, if anything, did you note as far as sort of the elevation of the roadway as you come from the Chapman side down to where 34 is?
Coming from Chapman, you're heading downhill towards the end of Fairview that meets Cedar Crest.
And so where is 34 in relation to sort of Cedar Crest?
It's the second house on the left before you reach the intersection of Cedar Crest at Fairview.
And as you're approaching, or as you're en route between the police department and Fairview Road, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the road conditions, visibility, things like that?
It was terrible. Heavy snow, wind, visibility was awful.
And when you arrive on scene, what is sort of the first thing that you observe upon your arrival?
As I was coming down the hill, visibility was pretty bad. Obviously, I noticed the Canton Fire engine. Ambulance was already on scene. Both my two officers, cruisers were also on scene.
Now, as far as the particular cruiser that you were in on that day, is there sort of a particular cruiser that is reserved for sort of the sergeant or lieutenant who's in charge of the?
Yes. So 682 is the primary patrol supervisor vehicle.
And that would sort of shift from shift to shift as far as whoever that particular sergeant is?
Yeah, he would take the same one. 682 is it's labeled on the side of the doors, patrol supervisor.
And so is that the vehicle or that the cruiser that you took to go from the police station to Fairview that morning?
Yes, I did.
And with regard to that cruiser and sort of other cruisers within the Canton Police Department, what, if any, recording system is available on those cruisers?
All marked units have it's called a WatchGuard camera system. It has front video camera, and then it also has in the prisoner passenger back seat, has a camera there as well. They should be working audio in the back seat, they're activated by, if you flip the lights on, the blue lights, it'll automatically click. You don't have to press record. The cruiser automatically starts recording. If you got in a car accident, the camera would start recording. Any kind of impact, the camera starts recording. It actually ends up being passively recording, even when it's not on.
Now, you talked a little bit about the audio as far as in the back of the cruiser, but as far as from the camera in the front of the cruiser, where is the audio recording in regard to that, if at all?
It would be on the mic. There's a mic stand that sits in a charger. It looks like almost a beeper. Should be there.